know what's the equation of this parabola, but we know that the gradient at this point you have the minimum. So this is the turning point. Okay, so somewhere between 0 and 1. So this is -1, -2, -3. So this seems to be -3, and this is 0. This is 1, and this is 2. So the graph is, this parabola is the x-intercepts are -3 and +2, and this is your turning point. Okay, or this is your minimum. At the turning point, if you learn calculus, you should be knowing the gradient at this point is 0. Or you can say your dy by dx is equal to 0. So let's plot. So this is your x-axis, and this is y is equal to f dash x, or dy by dx. So this is your gradient graph of your gradient function. So first, always look at the turning point or the critical point at -0.5. At -0.5, your gradient is 0. So at -0.5, so let me plot this point. This is with the red. So between 0 and -1, you have the minimum. So I'll say, okay, when x is -0.5, you have the gradient is, on y-axis we are plotting the gradient. The gradient is 0. If you go to the right of 0.5, you have, suppose you draw a tangent at this line, at this point, the gradient is positive. The gradient is more positive. The gradient keeps increasing. So at this point, the gradient is greater than this point. Suppose if you take a gradient at this line, at this point, the gradient is more positive. So from this, at this point, it's 0, and from here, it's becoming positive and more positive and so on. So let's plot those points. So it is, when you go to the right of -0.5, it is positive. Okay, then it's going to be more positive. Okay, then more positive, the gradient keeps increasing as you move to the right of -0.5. And if you go to the left of -0.5, your gradient is going to be negative. Here at this point, it's more negative. At this point, it's more negative. So from this point, it becomes negative and more negative. So let's plot that with a blue color. So this is negative. At this point, it's negative. To the left, it's negative, more negative, more negative, and more negative, and so on. Okay, so this is and let us plot these points. Let us join these points by a straight line. Okay, so this is a graph of the gradient function. Okay, so it's a straight line, and it does make sense. Okay, now let us, at this point, you have your gradient 0, and to the right of this point you have a positive gradient, and to the left you have negative gradient. So let us make sense of this. So this, as we know the x-intercepts, let's make a guess. So your graph, the equation of the graph can be y is equal to x, as it's -3, it's x plus 3 times x. This is 1, 2, x minus 2. Okay, if you have learned little of algebra, you should be knowing that. If you know the x-intercept, this can be I'm not exact, but yeah, let's make an assumption. So this, when you expand this is equal to x squared plus this is 3x minus 2x, which is plus x minus 6. Okay, so this is your function. So let's find dy by dx. So dy by dx is equal to 2x plus 1. Okay, and it does make sense. The gradient